We are starting off with some interesting developments coming in from the Indian southern state of Tamil Nadu, where top Indian actor Kamal Haasan has hinted that he may reveal his political plans on the November 7th, which is his birthday. So in just a few days from now, the actor, who has kept the entire state and his fans guessing, is expected to spill the beans. There has been much speculation about when the superstar will make his political debut, if at all. Now, Kamal Haasan has promised a big announcement in an article in the popular Tamil weekly magazine Vikatan. The superstar has asked his fans to quote-unquote get ready and has said he will tell everything on November 7th. He has also written that he will give out details of the arrangements soon and will ensure that fans can coordinate with his team. Let's go straight across to our correspondent Revati Rajivan in Chennai, who's been getting us the very latest on this developing story. Revati, we've been talking about where the actor's next move will really head for the longest time. It seems now the next few days could hold some clarity over whether or not the actor is expected to take the political plunge.
Well, that's right, and it seems like yet another statement reiterating that he is interested in entering into politics, and this could be just another statement that the superstars have been making, keeping the fans and the state of Tamil Nadu guessing about their possible entry into politics. Earlier, Kamal Haasan was asked whether or not he will make an announcement on November 7th, which is his birthday, and he said for an announcement like that, it need not be anybody's birthday or any specific date, but when he's ready and when he has the plan in place, he will make that announcement. And now, contrary to that, he's saying that he will make the announcement on his birthday. Now, there is absolutely no clarity on what kind of announcement that will be, whether he will be joining any political parties. The speculation that was that did rounds when he met Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. So now there is no clarity on whether he'll be joining hands with anybody or he will float his own party, whether he has a proper plan in place. He looks as confused as his fans and state of Tamil Nadu are. On one day he would praise the BJP and the next day he would criticize the same party. So there has been a lot of contrary statements that coming out from the actors as well as far as the opinions are concerned as well. So it seems like the actor is not yet fully clear about the picture ahead, but perhaps on November 7th he will have a clear picture to give us. That is the hope that the state of Tamil Nadu has at this point. But we have had this hope, and we have had the state has had this excitement for more than 3 to 4 months now. Ever since the death of Jayalalitha, there have been a lot of excitement around the politics in Tamil Nadu.
The actor launching his own political party also remains a strong possibility, isn't it? What are you hearing on that front?
Well, as far as both Rajnikant and Kamal Haasan, the two superstars, are concerned, there are possibilities of both of them floating their own party. We know that Kamal Haasan had even said that he would join hands with with Rajnikant if that is required. So, yes, there is a possibility for all these options of them floating their own party or joining hands with other parties and the like. But we would know a clear picture of it only when the actors themselves have that clear picture and decide on one particular option among these. So which we are hoping that Kamal Haasan will give on November 7th, but we do not know how prepared the actors are to launch their own parties, because remember, they are superstars in the film industry, but when it comes to politics, they are only beginning. It's just baby steps for them.
All right, we're going to leave it there for the moment, Revati. Interesting times ahead for the state of Tamil Nadu. The actor Kamal Haasan, after keeping the entire state guessing for the longest time, is expected to speak out on November 7th, not too far ahead, which also is his birthday. And India's External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has intervened after Swiss couple were ruthlessly attacked by a mob near Agra in the state of Uttar Pradesh. Swaraj has sought a report from the Uttar Pradesh government over the matter. The minister has also sent officials to assist the couple who have been admitted in Delhi. She has assured all possible help to the couple. The 24-year-old Quentin Jeremy Clerc and his girlfriend were strolling near the railway station at Fatehpur Sikri when a group of youngsters started following them. The Swiss couple were harassed and then brutally attacked by the mob. No arrests has been made so far. The brutal attack has left Clerc with a fractured skull. and a clot in his brain. It has caused him hearing impairment as well. The woman has a broken arm and multiple bruises. More than 260 million children and youths across the world have no access to education. This, according to a new report from the UNESCO, which shows the drastic state of education in India, where more than 2.8 million children are out of schools. Here's a report on India's educational system and what dominates the industry.
Despite significant successes of the Indian education system, UNESCO's Global Education Monitoring Report discloses that more than 2.8 million Indian children are out of school. The study also reveals that 11 million students have dropped out of lower secondary and 47 million out of upper secondary school. The report also points out that private schools take precedence over government schools in India and most developing countries. Globally, the private school education industry is poised to be worth over $200 billion by the year 2020. That will widen the gap between the rich and the poor as far as education is concerned.
Those who are affording, they are sending their children to the private schools where comparatively quality is better, and in the government schools the quality is not that better. So that is one reason that education is suffering in India.
Private schooling and tutoring are especially prevalent among wealthier urban households. In India, about 60% of urban secondary students received private tutoring, compared with about 37% of rural students. Better educated households in urban areas with children attending private schools are more likely to pay for private tutoring.
I passed out from the government school. At that time, government school standards are very high. In comparison of private schools, they were very good. Nowadays, public schools are very good, private schools are very good.
The state of higher education is not satisfactory either, and corruption has played a large role. India has issues of fraud and unprofessional practices in professional entrance examinations or accepting bribes to admit students. With an aim to provide a legal guarantee of compulsory and free education to every Indian child under the right to education, India launched its literacy mission in 2009. The mission set aside a budget of $1.2 billion for the first 4 years. However, recent reports highlight the fact that India's spending on education financing is below the global benchmark. While the world spends an average of 5% of a given GDP, India parts with only 3.8% for improving education. In New Delhi, Nagain Singh, WION.
Moving on now, after waiting for days amid heavy monsoon showers, Thailand is finally holding the cremation ceremony for its late Thai king Bhumibol Adulyadej. Mourners have been lining up around the funeral site of the late Thai king. The 5-day funeral process began on Wednesday, with a ceremony taking place inside the Grand Palace where the monarch's body has been laid since his death a year ago. The mourners, clad in black, slowly gathered and moved beyond the security checks surrounding Bangkok's Royal Field. The funeral ceremony reached its climax with the golden chariots carrying the royal urn to the ornate crematorium, specially built by artisans over the last year. Around 250,000 people have been lining up the area around the crematorium complex over the last few hours to witness the late king's body being laid to rest.
Paddies can utilize the soil present in the ceremony grounds, but care has been taken to monitor for the soil.
These are live visuals coming to you as crowds gather to bid farewell to the father of their nation. After a year of mourning, people gathering in Bangkok before dawn and have been lining up over the last few hours to witness the final cremation of King Bhumibol Adulyadej. These have been 5-day-long processions that have been taking place in Bangkok After a year of mourning after the Thai king had passed away, 3 separate and solemn processions involving his successor, thousands of troops, a golden palanquin, a chariot and a royal gun carriage moved the ceremonial urn representing Bhumibol's remains from the Dusit Mahaprasad throne hall to a newly built crematorium. That 3-hour journey along the 2-kilometer route was watched by tens of thousands of mourners. The proceedings are also being broadcast live on most Thai TV stations. The funeral proceedings for the late Thai king Bhumibol Adulyadej have taken place over 5 days. They began on Wednesday with his son King Maha performing Buddhist merit-making rites in front of the chanting monks and officials in white uniforms. The cremation taking place within a newly built golden edifice which represents mystical Mount Meru, where Buddhist and Hindu gods are believed to have dwelt.
It is an important royal chariot to be used to carry the royal urn on 3 counterclockwise rounds of the royal cremation. The use of this chariot was introduced in the reign of King Vachiravut or King Rama VI to replace the traditional use of Prayanamath Samlamkhan or the royal palanquin with 3 poles. This section that you see in the picture will be the one that will receive the weight of the royal urn. This will come and be assembled together with the front section to complete the royal gun carriage. In response to the wishes of King Vachiravut, King Prachadipok or Rama VII ordered the use of the Racharot Punyai to carry the royal urn for King Vachiravut on 3 counterclockwise rounds of the royal crematorium. Racharot Punyai or the royal gun carriage was used for the last time in the royal cremation of King Anantamaidon or King Rama VIII in 1950. The rear section of the carriage has now been docked close to the Kren Bandai Nak. In a moment, the royal urn will be slid from the Kren Bandai Nak onto the Rachirot Punyai. The construction of this new royal gun carriage is based on the details of the royal cremation ceremonies of King Rama VI and King Rama VIII.
Moving on for now, the latest coming in from Catalonia, where the Catalan Parliament is preparing for a crucial debate on Article 155 and the prospect of independence from Spain. Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy's government has threatened to implement measures to take direct control of the region on Friday if Catalan leader Carles Puigdemont does not back down from his demands for independence. Puigdemont was expected to go to Madrid to explain his position today on independence from Spain, but no visit has been officially scheduled to the Spanish capital. Analysts indicate he could formally declare independence or call a snap election today or on Friday before the Senate strips him of his powers and imposes direct rule from Madrid. The Spanish government has declared the referendum illegal and declined Puigdemont's calls for dialogue, instead opting to take control of the Catalan region. Meanwhile, hundreds of demonstrators have gathered outside the headquarters of the government of Catalonia on Wednesday, this to show support for the possibility of Puigdemont declaring independence and protest against the imposition of Article 155 by Madrid. The protest, organized by educational activists, rallied against interference from the Spanish government in the Catalan education system. Activists said the application of Article 155 was an embarrassment and would politicize education. And Spain has done all it could to frustrate Catalonia's independence movement. The movement has so far been peaceful and non-violent. Here's more on that.
October the 1st, when thousands of Catalans turned out to vote in an independence referendum deemed illegal by Madrid. At some polling stations, peaceful crowds were confronted by a heavy-handed police response, which was broadcast around the world. Prime Minister Rajoy defended the police, saying they performed their duty in the face of an attack on the rule of law. Nonetheless, independence activists saw it as a win for their strategy of non-violence.
The main point of this is one of strategy. We can't give any excuses, not one. Because as soon as there's any violence, the cameras turn to film it and you've already lost the argument. Just from a strategic point of view, that's important.
During the referendum, firefighters were seen protecting voters from police and were hailed as heroes by the independence movement. Mark feels he and his colleagues play a crucial role in calming tensions.
It's true that when people are very angry, sometimes it's hard to control that anger. That's why we're here, to control those people who are seeing red. And we're also here to control infiltrators provoking violence.
Meeting before one of their protest rallies to talk strategy, leaders of the independence movement are clear that peaceful protest remains their plan.
A massive program of civil disobedience which is determined and ongoing, involving thousands and thousands of people. That's our plan for the future, and that's what we saw on October 1st.
The strategy of peaceful protest has served the independence movement well so far. But if the standoff with Madrid escalates, it could come under pressure.